Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Signal, where we talk about what it takes to win in high stakes, government shaped markets. So, last week we touched a little bit on hiring more reps, and founders ask me weekly, should I hire? Should I hire more and scale through or grow through scale? Well, hiring is expensive. And even worse, the wrong time of a hire is even more expensive. It kind of makes me think of a story about when I was in the Mediterranean working for a global client that eventually became a unicorn. So they grew like crazy, very excited about the prospect of what they've done, accomplished even since I've been there. But I was I had started the first SDR business development rep function in the company. They had, at the time I was hired, they had about 300 sales reps across the globe, all 6 continents. And I recognized the need for something that was more dedicated to just drumming up new business, starting new conversations, and building up the business through constant and consistent outreach. We got within the first month or so, and we were getting about 6 meetings a month per rep. We hired 3 from the local team in North America. And I thought we were en route to getting to where we needed to be. But the CEO is a very forward-thinking person, very energetic, and he really wanted to scale super fast. So he wanted me to hire 50 people across the globe and really rock it. But I kind of tempered his expectations, and I said, you know, I agree with you. We want to scale, but what we don't want to do is scale at an incredible burn rate and watch everybody flounder while we're trying to figure out the success formula before it actually works. And, the 6 meetings a month my team was booking at the time per rep, it wasn't really profitable yet. It didn't make sense, the dollars and cents. So what we did is I told him, I made a commitment. I said, I'm going to find the success formula. And once we do, we're going to scale across the globe. So what we did, I went back home. So I was in the Mediterranean, went back home and worked with my team for the next 3 months on getting them from 6 meetings a month to 14. Once we hit that 14, we ran it for another month, hit around 13, 14 again per rep. And we kind of figured out, okay, we're plateauing. So over 4 months, we ended up going from 6 to 14 meetings per month in a more repeatable and dependable way. At that point, the floodgates were open. I was very proud to say to the CEO, let's go, let's expand this thing. And within a year, we had 25 reps in 6 continents, crushing it with that success formula. There were 2 lessons that I learned from doing this. One, optimization works fast. Even working systems have limits, and headcount won't overwrite any of these. So what is the formula? The formula is a documented pattern that allows you to do repeated steps over and over again to get the same result. Now, a lot of founder-led organizations have a challenge. Is primarily I'm sure that you've built your company off the backs of just incredible talent, knowledge, deep-seated knowledge of your market and the problem that you're solving for. And you've built the team, even if you may have built the technology or the solution or the operations that run the day-to-day, it was from your vision. Having that level of expertise and in-depth care, knowledge, network, and everything can be an incredible valuable tool at building a company from ground zero. A lot of times founders have issues going from that founder-led sales into hiring their first hire and their second hire. And sometimes you strike gold. You hire that person that is just a mini you and knows the market, cares about the people, cares about everything in the same level as you, and has those incredible skills. But 9 times out of 10, your next hire is not going to be that person. 9 times out of 10, that hire is going to be just a really talented individual that needs to understand that success formula before they get in and before they start representing your brand and earning you that growth and scale that you crave and deserve. What I like to do with my clients is take a step back when you're thinking about hiring that next hire. How did the last one go? How did the last few go? If you're seeing a repeated pattern where on the one hand, the rep is doing a great job and closing a bunch of deals, and you're the actual person that is making that happen because you're supporting them through the deal. You're walking them through that timeline and helping fill in the blanks of something that maybe a new employee wouldn't do. Or alternatively, you see that they're floundering and you take over the deal yourself. So you ended up closing them. Either way, it's going to be a very hands-on approach where are you really developing an independent third-party person to take over, to hand the keys of your revenue engine to? Now, this is a real challenge and something that we have to come up with. So what we're going to talk about today are 3 questions you can ask yourself in order to know whether or not you're ready to make that next hire. I've talked a bit about the formula. What is that success formula? Well, it's a documented pattern of the steps, actions, buyer activity that needs to happen in order for you to get to that closed deal, to get across the finish line. Looking at buying window signals, looking at what is going on in that ultimate client's organization that is leading them to the purchase decision. And what did you do? What did your best reps do before you started to expand the team in order to guide them along that spot to get to a point where they're positioned to buy from you and be happy, long-term, sticky customers? What are the repeatable patterns that you're going to see along the way? If there are things that you're doing that are overlapping, you have yourself a success formula. You just maybe haven't documented yet and might not have the training and onboarding activities dialed in order to make sure that next hire is going to be the best. If not, though, if there is no pattern, then that's more of a founder motion. That's you adapting to what's going on in the market and taking your time and leveraging that years of experience and passion in order to close the gaps. In the founder motion, most of the success formula lives in your head. Again, it might be real, it might be repeatable, but it's not documented and it's not portrayed to the team. That's why you might realize why you keep having to rescue underperforming reps or even help your best reps do the job with them. It's real, but it's not scalable. Unfortunately, a rep can't replicate it if it's all in your head. How do you create a mini you? Is that even possible? Why this matters more in B2G is the length of the sales cycle. We're talking 12 to 18 months, maybe even 24 months or 36 months to go from, hey, I've recognized there's a problem, to, hey, I want to buy from you. Okay, this is what happens in the mind of your customer. These long cycles means that there's no real recovery window. It means that if you're seeing leading indicators of challenges, you don't see those lagging indicators. You don't see the results well until it's too late. Possibly 2 years after you had a new hire, you don't really know if they're onboarded properly. Now, again, a savvy person who knows the business, knows the sales process, knows the clients, you can kind of figure it out, right? But can you? Maybe you know something's not right, but do you know how to fix it? So I'm going to go over 3 questions that you can ask yourself when looking at making that next new hire. First, can I explain the last 3 deals closed in a specific repeatable pattern? Your last 3 deals are the most important because those are the most recent. They represent all the culmination of everything you've been doing up to date. Number 2, do I know which signals in my market predict a buying window 6 to 12 months before the RFP drops or before a procurement cycle starts? Do you know exactly what it is, or is it, again, in your head, in your gut? Okay. Number 3, do I have a weekly indicator that tells me whether a new hire or rep is building real pipeline or just running coverage? Are they just working on your accounts or accounts you assigned to them or ones that you've guided them through everything? and just doing a good job of doing activities, booking meetings, having conversations, that kind of stuff? Or are they building real pipeline? Are they understanding the patterns? Are they understanding what are those success factors within a sales process, within an engagement, within a relationship that get you the success over time? These are really, really important questions that you need to ask yourself. And when you do, be honest. If you're kind of like, hey, it's kind of, yeah, okay, a little bit, maybe, you have more work to do. If you can say a resounding yes to each of these three questions, you are in the win. Okay. And what that means is, as soon as you can as soon as you can say yes with a resounding yes, then you're going to be in a position to hire and make that next, team growth strategy. With that said, all we want to do here is get to the yes. We want to get yes to all three of those questions, and then it's safe to hire. If not, you're just burning through more money, more time, more resources on a repeatable success formula. No, on a formula that's in your head or is not easily replicable to other people. And you're going to what this means to you and why should you care? I advocate for patience. Patience is the real work, is taking the time to document the success formula, document the process, build great onboarding materials, work it into your recruiting, and make sure you're looking for those types of skills and abilities, not necessarily just, hey, can somebody make a lot of phone calls, but are there specific things that move deals along more than others? And are there specific personality traits or work practices that lead to incredible success? And you can work this into the whole thing. And so when you have that success formula, that's the output that makes all these decisions so much easier. It acts as the central hub that you can build your recruiting, onboarding, advertising, interviewing, and all those things around. Okay. And it makes you realize that formula is so vital that headcount is safe once you have it. So headcount should come after the formula and not before. So I hope you like this episode of The Signal. If you have anything to share, please DM me or leave a comment, and we'd love to hear from you. And maybe we'll cover what you're asking on the next show. Have a good one. Bye-bye.